Hello everyone, my name is Alex. This is Oliver. Today, it's M&M's. As you all know, I am breeding my het ultra male female fettuccine to my male Oscar, who's a leopard pastel double het ultra male pie. What I'm hoping for is ultra male babies. It's head to head, so y'all know how low the odds are. Well, for those of you who do, it's probably the lowest you can go and still get ultra males is head to head. That's a whole different video. I realize that I have not given y'all a video on the breeding process thus far, and where am I going with this? I've talked about it, but I haven't shown you all anything. That is what today's video is about. Stick around. So for those of you who are visual learners, you will definitely like this part of the video. So here we have a compiled list of everything I've done, or me and the snakes have done so far. Let's go ahead and look at it. So here in the beginning, you will see we have my male and my female, and their listed genetic mutations. We've already talked about that in the beginning of the video, and I have shown you what they both look like in the previous videos I've made. So let's go ahead and move on. In 2023, I decided in October I wanted to start breeding my snakes. So how did I know that it was time and what all needed to be met first before I started breeding them? So my male and my female first met the breeding weight and age. So Oscar, our male, he was a year and a half, and he was 550 grams, which is a very beginning stage of their breeding. At least in my book. I've heard people breeding them earlier. I've heard people breeding them at lighter weights. That's just my opinion and on research that I have found. Fettuccine, though, she was far beyond both the weight and the age that I would start, and anyone and most other people would start too. She was almost 4 years old, and she was 2,100 grams. So she is a hefty snake and an aged snake. So in 2023, I bred them 4 times, and I've done so 3 weeks apart. I did so on the recommendation of some local breeders. Guys, I am very new at this. I've never done it before. It's actually my first ever season that I've done so, and I'm going to have only one clutch. That is it. So everything I've done was based on research and those local breeders. So bear with me and understand that I may get things wrong and I don't understand it at all. That is the point of doing these videos, is to show you the very beginning of breeding and how I'm going to learn in the future to become better. So to move on to 2024, you will see they have 2 more confirmed locks in the beginning, one in January and another in February. So February 10th is where things start to get real interesting. So she started going into a shed, which for most times is no big deal as long as they do a complete shed. It looks like a sock. But I believe this to be a pre-ovulation shed. I will give you the reason here in just a moment. So to move on Valentine's Day, she started refusing food, which is probably the only time of keeping ball pythons that it is exciting that they refuse food is when it's close to ovulation. What that means is that her follicles, which eventually turn into eggs, have gotten so large that she can no longer fit food in her stomach. And the whole season, she's been eating, building up fat reserves so when she goes off food. So she is nice and fat, and she decided this is when it's time to refuse food. Shortly after, on the 21st, that is when she finished that shed, and I tried feeding her again after that shed because it was a week after, and she refused again, which is still exciting. So the reason why I think this is a pre-ovulation shed is what we see here in February 22nd. I noticed that she was glowing. She was glowing brighter. I would say a few shades brighter. I don't know how that works, but I noticed that she was almost hypolipping. A hypo is another mutation of ball pythons. Go check that out. But I noticed that she looks almost like a hypo, and I was even more excited because I know that that shed was a pre-ovulation shed. And I probably have maybe a few months, according to those local breeders and research, to eggs. So maybe here in sometime in the next 2 months, I'll have eggs. That'll be in another video. That is really exciting, but let's stick to this video. And then the day after, I went ahead and put them together again to get confirmed locks. Now, the reason why I still want to put them together instead of stopping that is because these are actually the most, again, according to research, most important locks, because this is when her follicles are real large. they're at the point where they're just about to take in the sperm. So this sperm between now and her ovulation is when I want to go ahead and put that male in there. Now I'm going to wait 3 more weeks, just like the schedule, and put him in there again. So either what's going to happen is she's going to refuse him, or they'll breed again. So this is what I've done so far. Stick around. Here's what I meant when I said that the shed needs to look like a sock. I wanted to show you all this. So here we have this. These are both a fettuccine, and you will see how it's come off and one big old long tube-shaped shed. Now that is what a shed should look like. Now for the most part, it is put together. You'll notice here at the head, she had a bit of an issue and it came off and it folded back here and ripped a little bit. But for the most part, this is actually what a shed should look like. Now, these are actually both of her. And this first shed here on the bottom was taken actually 2 weeks before I started breeding her on October. And this is that pre-ovulation shed that I just told you all about. So here you can actually see her size difference, how much wider she's gotten. And actually she's grown a little bit longer too. Not much, but you guys can see. Probably not as long as that looks like because the head here is a bit messed up. So I bring that head here back a couple inches, about an inch or so. But look how much bigger she's gotten, guys. She's doing so well. When she has her pre-lay shed, I will put that above her and show y'all another video of the progress beyond that point. But this is how much progress she's made so far. So now I want to take a step back and show you what was on that list using videos and pictures. So here we have our female fettuccine before I even started breeding her to the male about a month before, in the end of September to say. You see her laying inverted, and that is because she is building follicles, which eventually turn the eggs that we are looking for. So I snapped this photo, I took it up to a local breeder, and I asked, does this mean she's getting ready to breed? He said yes. In fact, I want to put a male in there so we can get things started, or she will reabsorb, and we probably won't have a season out of her if she doesn't see a male within a certain time. So I'm glad I did because the season's going well. So this is what I mean, once more, that she is getting ready to start breeding, a sign. Also, I saw a small increase of appetite before I started breeding it. And those 2 signs is what I took as she was ready to go. So now we will look at the 2 important aspects of breeding, which is feeding more often, and we will look at breeding her to an actual male. So to start out with the feeding, why do I feed her more often? Well, to start out with, I normally feed her 1 medium rat once every 14 days. That is all she needs to stabilize her metabolism and to either grow or to continue to move around and stay alive. But during the breeding season, I increase that because not only do I want her to see that she has enough food to build her follicles and to build her fat reserves for when she goes off, but I want her to see that when the babies hatch, they'll have plenty of food to eat themselves. So she'll look at that and say, oh, these are good times. Now's the time to start breeding. Now's the time to start making babies, because times are not always good in the wild, and that is what I want her to think. So before I show you the video of her eating, I want to warn y'all that there's a frozen thawed rat that is about to be eaten, and if you don't want to watch it, go ahead and skip ahead. I would say about 30 to 40 seconds within there, that is a safe zone, and move on to the next part of the video. Now, you notice how intense she went after that rat, and that is what I mean by when I say there has been an increase of desire for food. Now let's look at the breeding part, and I want you all to notice when they're breeding is that the male's tail is under the female, and you will see that they are 100% locked. There is no question about it. If you do not see this lock, it is not a confirmed lock. Now, lucky for me, every time I put them together, I got to see this confirmed lock. Let's check it out. So at this point in the video, you guys have been able to see how dark Fettuccine is and how brown she is. So now I want to show you what I mean when I say she is brighter. Look at her. First of all, let me get her off here. Look how brighter she is. And you can definitely tell on that head right there. Look at that. She is brighter, guys, and I'm excited because hopefully that means we have an ovulation coming soon. And once we hit an ovulation, we know we were 100% sure that there's eggs. It is definitely going to be egg time. So look at her one more time. Bring her around. Show her off a little bit. I'm proud of her. She's doing well. Look at that head and neck. That's really, really good to see it, guys. So let me know what you think. Do you think she's gotten brighter? Am I just pulling this out of nowhere, hoping that she's ready? Let me know. What do you guys think? So this is everything we have for this breeding season up to this point. Next we have ovulation, pre-lay shed, eggs, incubation up till the baby's coming out of the eggs. I'm excited. We have about 4 months left and probably until we have those babies come out, give or take, depending on how she does. This is her first ever season breeding, so I don't know how she is. I don't have a way to backtrack what she did in the past because this is her first time breeding. Goal of the season, guys. Ultramels. Hopefully het pod. I'm excited. Whew. Anyways, enough about that. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you didn't like. Let me know what I can do better. Thank you all for coming.